are sitting on the dais, I would request my friends to welcome them. I would love to call Mr. Anuj Soni to welcome Mr. A.S. Chandio with the bouquet. Anuj.
I thought I was good.
Mr. Mohinder Saini. I would request Mr. Shailendra Saini to come and welcome Mr. M.N. Krishnamani. Mr. Omkar, please welcome Mr. Mohinder Saini. I would request Mr. Jitendra Saini to welcome Mr. V.K. Tyagi, who is our General Secretary, with the bouquet. I request Mr. Tariq Siddiqui to welcome Mr. Adish Agarwal. Mr. Tariq Siddiqui. Sonia Khanna to welcome Mr. A.S. Chandio with the bouquet.
Whether I give it to you or you give it to me. Thank you.
I would request Mr. No wants to welcome Mr. Nushad. So it's there. We fight a living legend between us who has given his personal opinions, the challenges which were faced by the living legend himself. I don't think so. Anything else can give you the guidance to come up with your difficulties if you are facing. Now, I will request Mr. A.S. Chandio to express his opinions on the today's subject. Mr. A.S. Chandio, please give a big hand of applause.
Dear friends, my friends on the dais, Mr. Mani and others, and very respected members of the bar. While I was listening to Mr. Saini, I was wondering whether there ever will be a sunshine for this profession at all. But the picture that he painted was so gloomy that for a moment I started thinking whether I will appear in the bar tomorrow. I'll probably get a brief tomorrow morning to appear or not. While I accept Mr. Saini's viewpoint that there are various challenges that have attacked the bar, bench, everything. But with all humility at my command, I don't think it is that gloomy. For my young friends, you should only keep one thing in mind, to my mind, that notwithstanding crowd, persons who have conviction to do something will always shine. This profession needs nothing, to my mind. In fact, when I came to the bar, I remember a very senior member of the bar asked me, do you know where Quick Fix is available? So I was wondering what has Quick Fix got to do with it. They said, buy a Quick Fix and start sitting on your chair first. Because if you sit on your chair, you'll probably look at your desk. If you look at your desk, you'll look at your file. The problem, Mr. Saini, lies with my law schools today, to begin with. In the latest BRIC conference that we had, I was surprised to see amongst our BRIC countries, I had 1,600 law schools in comparison to Brazil, Russia, China, South Africa, which had 100, 150, 149. So my first problem is mushrooming of these law schools. And while speaking a few days ago at university, I had said, unfortunately, education has become my fundamental right only on paper. Instead of those universities that one had, we have started having shops. I need to change this first. The In my time in law faculty, you had people like Mr. Tripathi, who was my dean, Mr. Rodgi, Mr. Chawla, who later on became my own eventually. The atmosphere in the law school was totally different. But unfortunately, the time has changed. And with that time, everything is deteriorating. Therefore, I need to inculcate that values of this profession right from my childhood when I enter the law school. I must bring to his notice that the calling to the bar, it is not a commercial activity. I have been debating with the Bar Council of India in the last few days when we are opening our doors to the world to come and practice in India, but not even asking for reciprocity. I am not ready to look at my own domestic bar first. All these problems which Vasani said, why is the Bar Council not looking at this? Why must it much of time? I must strengthen myself. I can give you an example. If you see any big law firm in the world, it will have 150, 200, 300, 500. It has a funding from the state, it has a funding from the banks. And if I as a lawyer go to a bank will say, sorry, I can't let you in. I understand our experiences are not good. But we must bring that stature to our bar. And that stature can't come till I strengthen my law school first. My second problem, and I'm very frank when I talk because it's very easy for me to bring difficulties and errors and others, I must bring introspective in myself first. And that introspection must bring to me what I need to do. I must find a solution. So if I strengthen my law school, I have a better child coming out of the law school. And the problem is different today. The problem is the materialistic world. When you and me came to the bar, I don't think anyone thought about it that I must right from day one come in a new car in my hand. Nobody thought about it. My friends who were with me in the Supreme Court will remember a few days ago I saw 3 youngsters just outside the canteen looking out and pointing out, this car is Mr. Salve, this is Mr. Singhvi, this is Mr. A, this is Mr. B's. And I was watching them till I went up to them and said, do you find that car standing on that right alto is also a car of a lawyer? Maybe all these people started from there and reached to Jaguar. We have no problem. I can assure you, with the experience of the bar at this moment and all of you around, the talent of this country is the best in the world. There's no doubt on those situations. We have our difficulties. I'm not saying no. But then difficulties, we are not making any effort to overcome them. We must make that effort first. Mr. Krishnamani is here, he was the president of the Supreme Court bar, ask him how many times we have to sit together to work out the difficulties. We thought we must look at them. It is possible for me to look at problems of A, B and C, but the first question is, when will I start feeling bad for another colleague at the bar? That's the problem. When I came to the bar, I was 2 years old, maybe 2.5 years old, I was before a judge. I thought I was making a point, but the judge thought I was making nonsense. So he was ripping me apart. And I think Maratha sitting here may be able to bear me out better than anybody else. Somebody from behind came and asked me to sit up. On the facts that I knew, or maybe a little less than that, he made the same point and the judge issued notice. I had not known the matter. I came out, touched his feet. And 10-12 years later, I was sitting behind and a lawyer of 2 years old was getting the same cut. I stood up. I requested the judge, can you put it after a few days? The judge ripped me apart for 2 minutes, but then I checked. called me back at 2:15 in his chamber and said, "Actually, we should notice of contempt to you. Because I thought you were interfering in the administration of justice." And I said, "Before you issue notice and I accept and plead guilty, I want to give you a reply." And that reply is that when I was 2.5 years old, I was faced with the same situation. Somebody came from behind and rescued me. "Would you like to know his name?" He said, "Yes." I said, "It was your father." So the judge's father had taught me this. And if your father taught me something wrong, then I did something wrong. This issue a notice of contempt and I plead guilty. The difficulty today is neither I have a lawyer nor I have a judge of that capacity. Therefore, we need to strengthen ourselves. Nobody is going to look at us. I am not looking at my state or either the center or the state government to look at me. The fraternity must look at myself. What prevents our seniors on a Friday, say this Friday's fee will go to a corpus where I'll be able to pay to my youngsters some stipend? Where are we willing to do that? We're not. And I'm sorry to tell you all, I would have never been in any political situation of the bar at all. I came to the bar in 72. Till 1998, I did not even contest in the election of a member elected. I had a friend who was an advocate on record. I lost him as a young friend of 33, 34. I thought the bar must be doing something. And realizing it was doing nothing, I came back and stood myself and offered my services. Defamed me down. Mr. Saini would remember, he was the president of the bar at New Delhi. And I went up to him and told him a survey has been conducted in Delhi. The survey said we had 10,800 some members of the bar, out of which 2,300 or 2,100 were fake. One didn't know which degree was it, but they were wearing black coat and going in. 2,800 all was engaged, Mr. Saini, Mr. Krishnamani, me or you or anybody else, and take it into. And the remaining came to about 1,800 or 1,300, which were actually in the mainstream. So my request to all of you is, be a lawyer in the mainstream. And if we can erode all those people out of this, I don't think I need anybody. We shall move faster than velocity. I have all leaders sitting in the audience, right? Like here on the dais and off the dais. I saw a candidate sitting behind who is now contesting for the General Secretary of the Bar Association, Mr. Shyam Sharma. I hope he's listening to me. This is the need of the hour. The need of the hour is, are you compassionate first? You have a Chief Justice, we have heard, sir. Chief Justice spoke on the very renowned Chief Justice of the United Kingdom. When he was debating his office, somebody asked him, what do you look at to appoint judges or select judges for this collegium which is going on today in the Supreme Court? He said, I always looked at one thing, and that was, is the person a gentleman? If he's a gentleman, then he's going to be a very good judge. If he had some knowledge of law, that was an initial bonus to us. So therefore, collegium or no collegium, whether you appoint through collegium or without collegium, we have lost sight of those gentlemen. We are playing chess games today. One is yours, one is mine, one is Mr. Krishnamani's, one is Mr. Saini's, and we are appointing people. The marriage is losing its significance. And I am ashamed today, as a lawyer and officer of the court, that the disrespect that Supreme Court is bringing to us today is no other court in the country.
Yes.
It is taken away from Mr. Krishnamani, it has taken away from everybody else. This is the problem that we are facing today.
Yes.
Therefore, the need of the hour is, and I must tell Mr. Saini that my reading of my history of law is that a judge used to have his own son appearing before him.
Yes. Lot of.
If you see a new book which has been published by the Bar Association of Bombay a few days ago, you see that history.
It is fascinating that that was the capacity of a judge. That was the caliber of the judge. That was the integrity of the judge. And you could not point out a finger to him that, look, your own son was appearing and you were still doing justice. Here we say, no, my lord, your lordship has 2% shares in some publicly limited company. Please accuse yourself. Because we have lost faith in the system today. Mr. Mina is here. He will see how things were progressing when he was in the Ministry of Law. And one has seen it very closely. Having worked in the government for 5 years. But my request to all of you is nothing is lost today. We must do not lose your self-confidence. Do not lose your self-confidence in anything. Rise to the occasion. Remove all those people who have become irrelevant. Bring these youngsters to the forefront. My friend was saying, have interaction with the judges.
Not our private.
No, I'm not saying private. No, I want to bring him something to his notice. And I'm sure he knows about it. Delhi High Court in 1972-73 used to start at 10 o'clock. The admission matters used to get over maximum between 11:25, 11:30, 11:35. And the tradition of that court was, whosoever is the last two lawyers appearing before them would go inside the chamber of the honorable judge to have a cup of tea. That was the tradition. But Mr. Saini, unfortunately, if you and me were to go to any judge's court chamber today, people will say, oh yeah. Because we lost confidence in ourselves. And that is why people have started raising fingers on us. We've lost our own integrity. Therefore, restore that first. We have today seen the government has decided to dissolve the Medical Council of India. And you are the next, I can assure you. The reason is because we are not able to self-regulate ourselves. We are not able to bring discipline in ourselves. If we bring that discipline back, which is to my mind, first principle for a lawyer to be. If you remember, I wish Vishwamani would remember it. In a case argued by me, and I said, Lord, what are we talking of Article 21 today? Justice Patnaik was the presiding judge. I said, what does this mean? I said, don't lose time, maybe next few months or few years. I will be standing before you, or maybe my son is standing before you, filing a petition of saying, my father asked me to get up early in the morning. It's violated of Article 21. He still wants me to get up early in the morning. Therefore, it's violation of Article 21. If you reach that stage, please restore it back. I'm not against partying. I'm saying party hard, but work hard. No dispute. It's not necessary. Because unless you start partying in your work or profession, your partying going on Saturday or Friday is meaningless. When you read Code of Civil Procedure, when you read CRPC, when you read a statute, that is where you must actually start partying. When you start partying there, then you won't need that party at all. And it is because we are not strengthening our bars that our bench is getting bad. If we were to strengthen ourselves, then there should be no worry for us who's going on the bench. If I may not be knowing my great-grandfather or great-grandfather, but supposing my name somehow goes into the corridors that I am going to be appointed a judge, everything will come out. I will not know about it, but somebody else will know. The reason is different. Because the problem is totally different. I am not happy with what I have. I am unhappy why Mr. Krishnamani is smiling. I am not very happy that I only have 4 griefs. They are sufficient for me. I am unhappy why Mr. Krishnamani is getting 4 briefs tomorrow. We must learn to stand by each other. We must learn to stand by that junior colleague of ours. I can assure Mr. Saini, he will be able to do it without money if I still stand up with him emotionally, confidentially. Tell him what law means. He doesn't need money then. It's necessary that I need money. I'm not saying no to that. I don't know whether many of you would know, we formed a rule in Delhi High Court that any lawyer who's 30 years, I think, in the profession or is a member of the bar, will have to have a junior with him. Not a senior advocate, I'm saying without senior advocate. We tried, we created a placement committee. We gave juniors to those people, but the junior will come at 11, he will come at 12. The senior will not bother because what does he do? That is the point. My young friends who are sitting in the here would bear me out. I have interns every month, at least 8 of them with me. But unfortunately, I have to every time point them out after the 3rd day. My dear youngsters, where were you to the last 2 days? And once, I must tell you this happened last week, so I must share that. By the way, 3 of them came to my room and said, "Sir, we want to ask you a question. I did my internship with Khaitan, with this, with that. Nobody asked us this question. Where were I? We went there, we did not go. We gave the assignment or did not give the assignment, but nobody interacted with us, nobody asked us questions. Then why are you asking us?" So I only said, I only mean good to you. That my certificate that you get after your internship must carry a value addition of something in law with you. Therefore, I must stand today to tell that youngster what is his obligation also. Don't let him go loose. He's young. I need to groom him to become. Palkiwala was never born Palkiwala from his womb of his mother. And bring with them humility. Today we have a public reprint of the debates of the parliament. I had the benefit of a gift from my own senior. And you'll be surprised when I got a call at an age when I was 10 years old in the profession from none else but Palkiwala Sahib saying, "Can I borrow this book from you for a few days?" He was in Delhi. Where is that humility gone? Even if I want to talk to some of you, I'll ask my clerk to speak to him. What prevents me to talk to her or him? Why I'm not having a direct relationship with you? That is the barrier which is being created. I am the first servant of the people of this nation. So if my office bearers, either in the bar council or the bar stations, start thinking they are the first lawyers to serve their community, things will be changed. Unfortunately, we are not able to bring that culture back. Our culture remains to local commissioner kisko mil gaya. Who is bothered about local commission? There are larger issues today. Much larger issues. Catered to everybody. Welcome, Jagdish Agarwal. It can go right, everybody else. That is the reason for us to look at. And my humble request to all of you is, please bring that culture back. We must bring that culture to our bars back. A child must be taught. He doesn't know or she doesn't know. Don't leave them like this. Who of them will feel upset doesn't matter. Still it is better to go back. Because unless they do wrongs, you won't put them to right. It's a profession of great tradition. It's a profession of great culture. A person as illuminated as Mr. Krishnamani is sitting here. Therefore, that's the need of the hour today. Don't go by what you see around, please. Don't go around by what I tell you or if anybody else tells you. Please don't go by that. And I can assure you, if this brief that you get into your hand becomes your religion, and I'm saying so with all conviction, and if you don't do anything wrong with that, you do your full justice to it, actually you are praying to Almighty, because through that brief you are getting justice to people. There can't be a better thing in life. So if you are instrumental in getting to that consumer of justice in the real sense, let corruption go on. We'll beat it up. In fact, if you see today's statement by the Prime Minister, he says, in United States there was a corruption when Mr. Nixon brought demonetization. And corruption went down. So I also brought demonetization. Because we need smaller notes. We're not realizing that from 1,000 you've gone to 2,000. So where are the smaller notes? But that's not the issue. I'm not on a political dais here, not to say I have nothing wrong about it. The policy is valuable. But at the same time, I must see what the object is. I simply can't do it because of the heck of it. How many times do our acts today get debated in the parliament? Unfortunately, none. It takes 1 second to pass an enactment. Mr. Meena will bear me out in the legislative department. Many of them don't even know what I'm talking about. They cut paste and do it. We are talking of trade in the world today, and say India and every global world is one. And see a latest act. Insolvency Code 2016. There is no cross-border insolvency in it at all. Because the author forgot about it. And today, investment of Indians is much more, for example, in the United States than United States in India. These are problems that we are facing. I'm neither looking at the state, I repeat, not looking at anybody else. I'm looking at myself and you. If we collectively join our hands with a mission that we must rise to the occasion and bring such leaders at the bar who will deliver. Don't think I'm confessing for Mr. Adish Agarwal or Mr. Shyam Sharma. Don't think that. For me, both of my dear friends, they're assets to the bar. But my request to them also would be, once you get elected and you get the confidence of your voter, please deliver to the hilt what is required. And I can assure each one of you, you don't need PTs. You don't need to be a president of the bar. You can still do something for the other. Each one of you can do next for what you've done together. So please don't look at everything in such a gloomy picture. Mr. Sani will bear me out. To me, it looks fine. Everything is splendid. Go ahead. Goal is ours. Everything is in our hand. If we join hands, as I said, I can assure you there will be no profession in the world like we Indian lawyers in the world. Is he going to do it? My prediction is 2022 or 23. No law firm in the world would be without an Indian lawyer on its board. And hopefully things are changing their color. And today I'm proud to tell you there is no law firm which has over 200 lawyers in the world who does not have at least 5 lawyers from India. And that is the pride place that we find today. So don't think we are some distorted people. We are not. Yes, there are problems. We have created our own problems. Let us wash them out. Mr. Sharma is sitting here. He keeps telling me, making complaints to me. And I keep telling them, don't worry. And I can assure you, sun will shine. Have you ever seen, even if there was total darkness in this room, And if I was, or my Seni was to open up, lit a candle here on this table, then the entire light will come. So if one candle can do it, I'm sure all of us can bring that, remove that darkness and bring sunshine. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. A. Stereo. I would